Good afternoon, my dear students. Today we're going to have another virtual class for Math 01. This is College Algebra. Today we're going to discuss your week 8, which is all about quadratic functions. Today is November 19, 2021. Our schedule is 2:45 to 4:15 p.m. So what is quadratic functions? This chapter is all about quadratic functions and inequalities. In this first module of the chapter, we will discuss the definition of a quadratic function. We will also discuss its graph and its properties. So we have now the definitions of a quadratic function. A quadratic function is a function that can be written in the form y is equal to x squared plus bx plus constant, or the function of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus constant, where your a, b, and c are real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. In the definition of quadratic function, note that a, the coefficient of x squared, is not allowed to be 0. So since a quadratic function is a second degree function, if a becomes 0, the term containing the x squared will not be present. This will make the function linear. So pag naging 0 yan, what's left will be bx plus constant. That is now the equations of a linear function. It's already a first degree equation. So we have now the examples of quadratic functions are the following. Y is equal to 3x squared. Y is equal to negative 5x squared plus 7. The function of x equal to 6x squared plus 4x minus 3. The function of x equal to 9 minus 4x squared. Y is equal to y is equal to x squared. The function of x equal to 4 minus 5x plus 8x squared. Properly identifying a, b, and c is very important in dealing with quadratic functions. These values are needed in most formulas related to this function. Quadratic function, the function of x equal to 6x squared plus 4x plus 3, a is equal to 6, b is equal to 4, and c is equal to negative 3. In the function of x, 8 minus 7x squared, your a is equal to negative 7, kung saan po yung second degree equation, coefficient. Your side b is equal to 0, and your constant is always your c, which is equal to 8. So we have now the graph of a quadratic function. The graph of a function is the set of all points whose coordinates satisfy the equation representing the function. For example, we know that the graph of y is equal to x squared plus 5x plus 6 will contain the point 1 and 12. Since the equation y is equal to x squared plus 5 is plus 6 will be true if we replace x with 1 and y with 12. The point 1 and 12 is one of the points that will satisfy y is equal to x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay? So we're going to check that one. 1 squared is 1 plus 5 times 1 is 1. So 1 plus 5 is 6 plus 6. Y will become 12. If we plot all the points that will make a function true, then we'll be able to graph the function. So we have now for the quadratic function such that as the function of x is equal to x squared plus 5x plus 6, or y is equal to x squared plus 5x plus 6, the graph is a parabola. And it is opening upward since we have a positive value. To facilitate our discussion of the graph of quadratic functions, we will start with a simple quadratic function. Y is equal to x squared. The graph of y is equal to x squared is shown below. Ito na siya, no? So, from 0, 5, 10, no? From negative 5, saka 5. So, this is your vertex. We're going to have these coordinates, okay? Then we can say this one as the length or the opening of the parabola, and that distance is what we call the length of the latus rectum, which is equal to 4a. So we have the equation of parabola, which is opening upward, x squared is equal to 4ay. So what is the opening? The graph of y is equal to x squared opens upward. It is possible that the graph of a parabola opens downward. The indicator of the opening direction of parabola is the sign of a. The coefficient of x squared, if a is a positive, then the parabola opens upward. While if it is negative, the parabola opens downward. So therefore, the graph of y is equal to x squared opens upward because our a is equal to 1, which is positive. So what is vertex? In the graph of y is equal to x squared, notice that there's a lowest point located at the origin. This point is what we call the vertex. Dito, ito yung tinatawag nating vertex, which is at the origin, x is equal to 0, y is also 0. Okay? The vertex is not always a lowest point. It is not always located at the origin. The vertex is either the lowest point or the highest point of a parabola, depending on its opening. Because therefore, a parabola which is opening the, downward. No? Ganito po siya yung tsura niya. Okay? Kaya sabi niya, it is the lowest point if the parabola open upward. While it is the highest point if the parabola opens downward. The formulas for the coordinates of the vertex P is usually designated by h and k are given below. So your h is equal to negative p all over 2a. And your k is equal to 4ac minus b squared all over 4a. So this is the way how you're going to find the vertex of a parabola. Notice, next we have the axis of symmetry. Notice that the graph of y is equal to x squared is symmetric with respect to the y-axis. This line is what we call the axis of symmetry. For the graph of quadratic functions, the axis of symmetry is always a vertical line passing through the vertex. This is why the axis of symmetry has the equation x is equal to h, where h is the x coordinate of the vertex. So ito yung symmetry po natin. Okay? So next we have your the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the point where the graph intersects the y-axis. Since the y-axis, the x-coordinate is 0, it is customary to just refer to the y-intercept. Okay? So dito, yung y-intercept natin is 0. Okay? So there are also procedure how you're going to find the y-intercept. You are going to equate the value of x into 0. Pag nagkaroon ng value ng y, that's now the value of our y-intercept. So next you have your the x-intercept. The x-intercept is the point where the graph intersects the x-axis. When we are asked for the x-intercept, we can simply give the x-coordinates of the point. To determine the x-intercept of quadratic function, we will simply make y 0. Parang tulad po kanina, yung sinabi ko, pag kukunin nyo yung y-intercept, equate nyo yung x into 0. Ngayon naman, pag x-intercept, i-equate nyo yung y into 0. Okay? So, determine the x-intercept of quadratic function, we simply make y 0. And then solve for x in the resulting equation. This will require our knowledge in solving quadratic equations. Not all quadratic equations will have a graph that will pass through the x-axis. So the possibilities are shown below. So dito, meron tayong two x-intercepts. So this your x and y coordinates, this your origin. Okay? So this one has a 2x-intercept, 1 and 2. Okay? Next, we have your D1 x-intercept. Okay? Kaya sabi dito, be careful, paano nyo malalaman kung may x-intercept. Okay? The x-intercept is the point where the graph intersects the x-axis. Doon sa unang figure po natin, ito yung x-axis natin, ito yung y-axis po natin. Dito dumaan yung opening ng parabola po natin, kaya meron tayong dalawang x-intercept. The other one is positive, the other one is negative. Okay? Dito, we have only one x-intercept. Okay? If this is your x and y coordinates, ito yung x-axis natin. Okay? So, there's only one x-intercept. Dito sa kabila, no x-intercept. Kasi pag titingnan po natin, hindi po dumaan yung parabola po natin doon sa x-axis. Kaya, no x-intercept. Okay? So that's the way how we're going to look for the x-intercept values. Dapat dumaan po siya sa x-axis natin. The same with your y-intercept. So we have your example number 1. Determine the opening vertex axis of symmetry, y-intercept and x-intercept if any of the function y is equal to 5x squared minus 4x minus 9. Solution, since the parabola is positive, which means the opening is upward. Since your a, the value of our a is equal to 5 is positive. Okay? So vertex, since a is equal to 5, b is equal to negative 4, and c is equal to negative 9, we're going to get now the value of our vertex. Using the formula, x, which represents the x coordinates, is equal to negative b all over 2a. So we have negative 4 divided by 2 times 5 is equal to, simply it further, 2 times 5 is 10, no? Negative 4 divided by 10, if we're going to reduce that into lowest term, we have negative 2 all over 5. Next, we have your k. K is equal to 4ac minus b squared divided by 4a. So if we're going to substitute that, we have 4 times 9, 5 times negative 9 minus 4 squared all over 4 multiplied by 5. So we have 4 by 5, 20, negative 29. Okay? 4 times 5 is 20 times 9 is yun siya, no? Tapos plus 4. Okay? So we have negative 49 all over 5. Nireduce na to lowest term, no? This is 180. And then negative 4 by 4 raised to 2 is 16. So 180 minus 16. Tapos ito, na-reduce na into lowest term. So you have negative 49 all over 5. So therefore, the vertex is at negative 2 all over 5. That is now the value of our x. And the value of our y is negative 49 all over 5. Which means our parabola lies on the third quadrant. Dahil yung x and y natin ay pareho silang negative. Okay? This is our X and Y coordinates, first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. So, nandito po siya, then opening upward. Okay? So, next we have your D, axis of symmetry. From the vertex, h is equal to -2 all over 5. And so, the axis of symmetry is the vertical line, x is equal to -2 all over 5. Okay? Yung value ng h natin, at the same time, that is your x is equal to -2 all over 5. That is now the axis of symmetry. Next, we have the y-intercept. The given function is y is equal to 5x squared minus 4x minus 9. Para makakuha po tayo ng value ng y-intercept, ang gagawin po natin, we are going to equate your x into 0. So, 0 yan, 0 na. So, yung magiging y-intercept natin will be -9. So, thus, the y-intercept is -9. Next, x-intercept. For the x-intercept, we need to make y is equal to 0. Kabaliktaran po siya. We need to solve the equation 0 is equal to 5x squared minus 4x minus 9. So, since 5x squared minus 4x minus 9 is factorable. So, 0 is equal to 5x minus 9 multiplied by x plus 1. So, x is equal to 9 all over 5 or x is equal to -1. In this case, there are two x-intercept. They are 9 all over 5 and -1. Okay? So, next we have now the sum and product of the roots. In the previous module, we have learned how to use the discriminant to determine the type of roots that a quadratic equation has. In some cases, we would want to know the sum or product of these roots. We will learn how to do that in this module. After this module, you should be able to know how to determine the sum. Okay? This module to know how to determine the sum or product of the roots of a quadratic equation by using its coefficient a, b, and c of ex squared plus bx plus constant is equal to 0. So we have now the sum of the roots of the quadratic equation. According to the quadratic formula, the roots of a quadratic equation are, we have, okay, are -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. If we separate the two roots, then we'll have -b plus b squared, the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So, which represents your plus sign po dito. No? Kaya sabi niya, we're going to use the x squared plus bx plus constant is equal to 0. And it's your quadratic equation. So, since there are two values, the other one is plus, the other one is negative, we're going to separate. Yung isa naman, and -b minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. If we try to add these roots, then we'll have, i-add po natin yung dalawa, no? -b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a plus -b minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So if we're going to add that 2, itong dalawa, the other one is positive, the other one is negative, magkakancel po siya. What's left will be -b all over -b. So we have -2b all over 2a. So we have -b all over a. So that is now the sum. Okay? Next. Therefore, the sum of the roots of quadratic equations is simply negative b all over a po siya. Example number 1, what is the sum of the roots of 4x squared minus 5x is equal to 3? Solution, before we can use the formula for the sum, we have to write the equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus constant is equal to 0. For the proper identifications of your constant value, the a, b, and c. So we have 4x squared minus 5x equal to 3. If we're going to transpose to this side, we have now 4x squared minus 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. So with that, your a is equal to 4, your b is equal to negative 5, and your c is equal to negative 3. And if we're going to use the formula, the sum of the roots of a quadratic equation is simply negative b all over a, negative b all over a. So we have negative 5 all over 4. The answer is 5 all over 4. Therefore, the sum of the roots of 4x squared minus 5x is equal to 3 is 5 all over 4 po siya. Ang ibig pong sabihin nun, there are two values of x since that is a quadratic equation. It's a second degree, there are two values of x, and if we're going to add the roots of that two value, then the answer is 5 all over 4. Okay? Next, we have now the product of the roots of a quadratic equation. To determine the product of the roots of quadratic equation, let us consider again the roots of a quadratic equation as given with the quadratic formula. So dito, ito yung plus negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a and negative b negative the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yung ginawa po natin kanina is addition. By this time, we have now the multiplication. If we multiply them, we will have negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a multiplied by negative b minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So, multiply natin itong dalawa. With that, observe the product of the expression in the numerator are following the pattern which produced a dots, the difference of two squares. That is from the factoring, no? We're going to factor a squared minus b squared. We have a plus b multiplied by a minus b. So we're going to follow that one. X plus y multiplied by x minus y. We're going to have x squared minus y squared. If we apply this pattern, we will get negative b squared, which represents your a, minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac squared divided by 4a squared. Okay? So, multiply natin to 2a, 4a squared. Negative b by negative b, we have b squared. Ito, saka ito, nandito yung squared po niya. So, simplify further, yung squared dito, saka yung square root sign, magka-cancel na po siya. So, what's left will be b squared minus b squared plus 4ac. Collecting like terms, magka-cancel po yan. What's left will be 4ac divided by 4a squared. So the answer is C all over A. That's now the product of the roots of a quadratic equation. Okay? So that's the product of the roots of quadratic equation is equal to C all over A. So we have your example. What is the product of the roots of 4x squared minus 5x is equal to 3? Solution, before we can use the formula for the sum, we have to write the equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus constant is equal to 0. For the proper identifications of a, b, and c. 4x squared minus 5x is equal to 3. So, gagawin po natin, itatranspose po natin to form a quadratic form, no? Equation. 4x squared minus 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. So, therefore, your a is equal to 4, your b is equal to negative 5, and your c is equal to negative 3. And from the product of the roots, we have c all over a. So, negative 3 all over 4, that is the same as negative 3 all over 4. Therefore, the product of the roots of 4x squared minus 5x is equal to 3 is negative 3 all over 4. Okay? So, thank you. That ends our discussion for today, which is all about the quadratic functions. Thank you.